Thanks guys for showing up here. For anybody that doesn't know me, my name is Vasko. I am the guy behind the camera at Wall Frame Racing. So you've probably seen us around on YouTube. We share our stuff all over the place. And I've asked a bunch of my friends here to join us up here to talk about some of our experience with the social media aspects that come with Demolition Derby, which is ever changing and ever growing. So we're excited to be able to be part of it. So next to me here, we got Scotty Drebneck Jr., more famously known as Iceman. Yep. So you're on TikTok. You're making the TikToks around the track.
Yeah, I'm on TikTok, Iceman 283. I'm on TikTok, Iceman 283. I think when it comes to Facebook and TikTok, I like TikTok because it seems to reach more people.
And then next I got Mitch here, who is the OG behind Demolition. I do want to give you a quick shout out. Say you were one of the original OGs to Demolition Derby.
Yeah, me and Alex, we go back a ways.
Quite a ways. And we'll cover like when you guys started and all that stuff. I think you should be a part of it.
I'm Clutch Marls.
And he is Clutch Marl.
I'm Tanner Longest, a multi-demo channel on YouTube.
Steven Sickles.
Steven Sickles, most of them are famously known as a driver, I'd say, but you've really been hitting it hard on the social media the last few years.
Yeah, we've moved to the social media platforms. We have a new podcast right with GarageCast. TikTok is it's Sickles 911, and then Facebook just my name.
So I'm just going to ask these guys some general questions because you watch their videos, you're entertained, but you probably don't get to actually know too much about them. So I'm just going to give them some generic questions here. We'll cover them pretty quick, and then we'll just open up to Q&A. Answer any questions you guys have as far as social media, our experience with traveling around. A lot of us, we hit a lot of events throughout the year, so we can give a different perspective maybe than somebody who's in the trenches building every single weekend. So just a general question here. When did you start making content for social media?
Well, I'll get an answer first. I started social media way back in 2010, probably 2008. But as far as content, I just did the basic, post a picture of my car here and there. And like I was telling these guys, with traveling, I ran the Unified Point Series, and I was going from different town to town every week. And I would tag me and my friends in the post, and we'd get bombarded with friend requests. And what ended up happening was I maxed out my friends list. So then I realized that people were following me on that. And I started posting more and more content, and then I ended up moving to TikTok. Sort of intrigued me from a few different angles. I try to do some tutorials to show people, but I'm pretty busy within my life, so it's hard to always get everything that I want to do done in the day. But I wanted to do that, and I wanted to show people a little bit more of the build so they could relate and possibly end up coming out running themselves. So I would say that I mostly started in probably 2020 and then evolved from there.
So I started in 2013. I was in college and my friends were asking me, what did you do this weekend? And I was like, I used a car to pull down a tree. They didn't believe me, so I started filming it. And they said, you should put this on YouTube, you can make some money. So I started putting my videos up, and then TikTok showed up and started putting them on there. And my videos, I do not show you really how to build a car. I would not use my videos to build a car. I show you how not to build a car, if anything.
Okay, so I'll drop just a little bit of unknown knowledge from the Demolition Missions channel. I actually started my YouTube in 2006 and originally put a video online because I had family in different states who wanted to see my run that couldn't come to the event. But back when I first created it, it was actually called Demolition Mission, which very few people probably knew it back then. And within the first year is when we realized there was very little derby content on the internet at that point. and people wanted to see other events. People were asking me, hey, did you run anywhere else, want to see your video? And I'm like, I just put it on for my grandma. Like, I didn't know. And that's where I think after the first year, I decided I wanted to try to put other content out there, and where we recreated ourselves as Demolition Missions with the S. And we added the S to make it wholesome, to make it a group, to make it plural, because I want to focus my channel on not me, but the Derby community. And that's where we've grown since then.
When did it become Demolition Missions?
So 2007 is when we created Demolition Missions, which is what we have now going forward.
So I started last year at King of Ohio, which is my, well, I shouldn't say that. Probably during the year before, like, just like everybody else you see nowadays, I just posted some mediocre things, like my car and stuff like that, bigger sounds. But then, like, yeah, King of Ohio, I started just, we were fixing marker pictures, so I started posting videos of it. And then, I don't know, I kind of got really competitive with it. I saw Sickles had more to me, so I was like, you know, we're gonna beat that real quick. Did that, and then just kept going, I guess, trying to be a contender, and then still haven't done that.
Well, I wouldn't say I started in 2010, but the actual channel didn't start until 2011, because I looked up to Mitch and Alex. I looked up to both of you when I started, because hey, these guys do it Northern Indiana, Northern Ohio. There is nothing in Southern Indiana for Derby content. And so I'm like, if people want to see hometown Derby in Paoli, where I'm from, I think I can do it. So in April of 2011, it started, and I still look up to YouTube. I want to be like YouTube, and I wanted to be like YouTube back then, and I'm just so glad that all of us became close friends and I can do this. Northern Indiana, Central Indiana, and now me and Alex are all over the country, and it's been fun.
Yeah, and I think that's the aspect that some people forget, is just that we can all work together, because we're all going to have our unique flavor on the content. You know, we're all passionate about Derby at the heart of it, but we all have our own spin, we all have advice not to take. You can learn from our mistakes, because we're not afraid to put ourselves out there, and even if we're just building some junk cars, you're going to figure out what happens and kind of go along for the ride. On a similar front, I started in 2010, similar to Mitch, where I started one channel, and then YouTube actually made a huge change in their policy, to which we actually had some copyright music things that it was so hard to fix. The easiest way was just to start a new channel. So all frame racing videos that you guys see today actually was reformulated in 2012. So if you look at that, you know, we've been at it for a while, but 2010 was when I started. Primarily, for Mitch, I was filming as a family out in California, and then I discovered your videos. You kind of showed them how to push each other to kind of keep it going.
Funniest part about it is he's been doing this since
Because we are getting old.
That's math I never even thought about. Well, you have a lot of time in your car to do TikToks, so you gotta hit anybody. Okay, so.
Yeah, Steven says it's going to aggressive.
So what kind of content, this is just going to open forum, now you all kind of know who each other are, but what kind of content do you guys like to create? Maybe it's not what gets the views, but what do you actually like to create?
It doesn't, I make it better. I made a video the other day, I was back in a sailboat. I made a video of me making trail-ons, I'm sailing those. Yeah, I'm doing it.
Thank people for a spin around your life here.
Pretty much, yeah.
I gotta agree with Brady. Just random stuff, honestly. I have like, I have a Facebook reel that got like 2.1 million views of me throwing stuff down a laundry chute at my girlfriend. Like, literally, it just depends. Anything.
I think our content has changed over the years where I've been. We originally created the channel, we focused a lot on filming events, and we've gone through multiple eras within the demolition derby world where it was stock mods, mini cars, going through that. Right now, I am in another period of transition, I think, where I am wanting to focus on the future of demolition derby. This is something you should see come across my channel within the next year or two as we prepare ourselves for it. I want to start finding those cars that people have not ridden in. I want to not be afraid of the next generation of vehicle that you guys will see entering the Derby arena. Because somebody out there was the first person to ever run Chevy. We don't know who. I would love to know who was the guy that figured out how strong they are. Same with the cameras. Somebody started figuring them out. And sure enough, there's going to be the next big car and the next car, so on. As other ones run out, there will be replacements. So I want to go out there and I want to find these random 2008, 2010 vehicles, and we're going to find out together if they are garbage, if they have potential, and I don't care if the car is a one-hit wonder or not, because we all are going to have a laugh about it at the end of the day.
I make videos that are going to suit with the children. I cuss. It's really whatever my ADHD wants to do that day. You might see me singing, you might see me blowing something up, or violating community guidelines.
So how many times have you been banned on TikTok now?
They told me after I lit the police car on fire that the next time would be the last time, and I've narrowed down a little bit. For about a year, I had an OnlyFans where I was posting the videos on there that were too bad. TikTok.
I'd say for me, of course, Mitch and Alex, we all do this. We film the full events. We love the pit walkthroughs. That's probably my favorite videos to make is the pit walkthroughs. We want to see the cars before they go onto the track.
So what is your guys' primary motivation in making videos? I should bring this up because I feel like most people probably don't fully understand how much grind there is in the backside to doing this content. Sometimes it's just, yeah, you can pick up a phone and make a video, but there's more that goes into it. So what keeps you guys motivated in keeping to make that content?
I just want to make enough money to quit my job as a construction worker.
I just purely enjoy it. I just have fun with it and keep rolling. When you asked me earlier when I started, I looked back at like when I physically started, but I've been posting stuff since 2000. I mean, now that I think about the YouTube channel, local shows that I try to get videos up, I just always have fun with it, and I'll do it until I don't have fun with it.
Well, unlike Clutch, I really like to do it for the fans. I mean, people that don't get to shows that we are at, that want to view them, that can't view them, I do it for them, I do it for the drivers. I don't know how many times you all get asked about how a certain driver is done, and you just have to tell them, wait for the videos to come out. And I think that's it. For the fans and drivers that don't get to make it to our shows, and the families that want to rewatch, that's what I do it for. I do it for the fans and the families that are in the sport that want to probably learn a little bit more or rewatch shows that we're at.
Kind of me going along with Symbols down here. A lot of the stuff that gets me motivated to make a video, and you can probably see it in some of my videos, I have to calm myself down because I tend to get excited when I find different things, or I see something that was completely unexpected, because I go into running every car always assuming the worst. I assume every car wouldn't be a one again. You have to have that mentality when you're going to run something, I'm going to run newer, because you don't know what to do. But you will catch me on video just being amazed, being surprised, and it's moments like that I try to get what I can get there firsthand to share with other people, because I want them to also experience the excitement and the fun of Demolition Derby. Because we all remember where this started. Demolition Derby is from racing, from crashing, from enjoying the stupid stuff that happens in the crowd, getting on their feet to see that fireball, to see the car folded up. And I want to keep bringing that to the attention of people.
I'm a very competitive person. So, I like, when he posts, I'm like, and how I can post. The thing about making content is, it's a lot more than that. I run out of ideas, and then I'm doing something, I'm like, show this, show this. And sometimes I'm doing those. I know what it is. Now remember, I'm a lot of hard work, so like, I don't want to mess with it.
Alright, and so this is the last pre-prepared question I had. It's just, I kind of want each one of your take on how has social media impacted your sport?
I mean, it's made it bigger than what it ever has. You're gonna see, back then, early 2000s, we didn't have Facebook to have shows about Ohio or Illinois. We didn't have all that information. Back then, we still had newspapers talking about our local derby back home. We didn't know about any others. We had Old Wheat Crash back in the day, and we seen where that's involved. We involved Facebook groups, TikTok, YouTube. I mean, social media is getting ready to be the backbone, if not already the backbone, of where this sport can and will go, just because of, not just because of us influencers, but because of everybody that has had a hand in this sport. It is taken off to such a higher level than what it ever has, and it's because of the social media aspect.
So I see that as probably like a 70-30 split. I do see negatives from social media, mostly positive. It definitely has evolved a lot of aspects of the sport. One thing I wanted to touch on is, and the group up here does a great job at that, of highlighting the positivity of the sport. All the things that he mentioned are great, but the people that are literally, a lot of times Demolition Derby is destroying itself from the inside on social media. So, and that's different to me than the influencers, because, and to me an influencer is someone that brings a positive light onto something. I mean, I might just be rambling on here, but I see it a little from both sides.
Coming off what Sickler said, he does have a point, because if you don't like me, back in the day before all the social media stuff, you just disliked me at the Derby. Now, you see my face 20 times a day when you're trying to watch TikTok, I can see how that can make you dislike me a little more. Yes, I do.
So I think with social media, like last year I ran 6 different states, and Steve, you're trying to run all 50. How would you do that without the internet and knowing where the derbies are going to be?
Oh, they're definitely different. Like a lot of these states, like say Alaska, I have to Google Alaska to try to figure out how to do it. So I'm there trying to think, like, do I need an Airbnb, a house, a garage? My plan for Alaska, when I get down to it, I'm literally going to try and Airbnb a house, sneak into their garage, buy a car in Alaska. And they don't even have a real derby. They have a figure 8 race that if the cars run at the end of the night, then they have a derby. So we're going to try it though one day.
All this from the guy that won't check South Dakota box.
I have no interest in running them team shows out west this year.
Like last year I had a random guy from Michigan message me about running a team show with him. I said, okay. So drove up to Michigan, now we're good friends. We went on vacation together last weekend, and I think social media helps you meet up.
This is a tough topic. I think it is very split, social media. The good side of it is you get to meet more people further away, you share ideas further away, but you also have that same concept where ideas and concepts can spread like fire across the derby community. It's really fun nowadays to go to an event and you see something tested, something different on a car, and you tell yourself, I wonder how fast we're going to see that at all the other events, because everyone assumes that's now the best way to do something. And I mean, everyone's probably doesn't remember back in the day, the huge controversy, everybody debating, still debating, the EVAP tubes coming off of engines, the headers, and everything else that's been going around. So there is, yes, there's good and bad to it. It helps community grow. It helps get people to know each other. But you have to be very cautious. And I have time and time again seen bad advice given on the internet to new guys. And this is something where a lot of us, experienced people, a lot of you experienced drivers need to help reach out. If you see somebody new and they're given dangerous advice or bad advice, try to tell them otherwise. Try to help them with their vehicle. I see people all the time asking, hey, is this car good? Can this car do this? And somebody will just steer them in the wrong direction. And you don't want to scare them away from what they're attempting to do. Just kind of guide them.
All right. Well, I'll open it up to just general Q&A for if you guys have any questions, or I guess really any of us up here, feel free to ask away. Now's your chance. You got the guys right here. You're not just watching them on a screen. They're right here. Ask away. Christy.
Question for mostly Scott, sometimes Steve. What are you guys going to do for TikTok event?
So the question for anybody, what are you going to do if TikTok is banned?
Well, I'm just. Well, I guess I have to try to remake my following on Facebook. And then I heard it. Facebook does. If you get to WWE with a TikTok, they're going to take all the money away from the reels.
Yeah, they've already demonetized the reels.
Well, I never got
Sorry
it.
for being
Anyway,
so
so this
on
really
it.
It's
sucks.
not on Facebook to know it.
But Christy asked me and Scotty, Clutch is like the most famous TikToker derbier here. But no, it isn't just about one platform. It isn't about how many followers I get. I mean, obviously the numbers are exciting and they keep you moving. But like I said, I'm doing it for the fun. So whether it be YouTube videos, I want to get into the shorts, whether it just be TikTok pictures or Facebook pictures, whatever. I'm just here for the fun. You can give it to Clutch though, because Clutch has like 50,000 followers or something like that, doesn't he?
It's like 40, but there's always gonna, like, even before TikTok, Scott, you know this, but there was Vine. And it's kind of like TikTok, but you have like 10 seconds to make a video. So there'll be another one.
Freebie, did you ever have a MySpace? Do you know what MySpace is? Okay, so you used to be able to pick out your profile song. If you had to pick one song that described your internet persona, what would it be?
It's like the old school Tinder. Let me just rephrase it for that.
I have the tiger.
What other questions we got out there?
Well, hear my face on it.
Oh boy, I cannot remember. It was like Stacy's mom or something. It was something stupid.
I had some Green Day song, I think. Wow, that brings back some memories.
I was probably like 5 or 6 when MySpace was created, so.
Other questions? Yeah, Teddy.
What was your favorite car to smash?
Favorite car? Favorite car to smash?
Any field, favorite car?
Who are you asking, Teddy?
All of you.
I'll go first. Mine was not a car, it was a truck. I enjoyed the Super Duty. It just actually matched my driving style. I think that's kind of the fun thing about Derby is as much of knowing what's a good car, but also getting the right car that matches your driving style.
I gotta say the one that won't shut off. Doesn't matter what it is. I really enjoy like the more difficult ones. Like it sounds crazy that I want to put myself through the pain and torture, but like a Camry wagon, they can get either very good or very bad. But I enjoy the fixing it to make it end up right at the end.
I said the most enjoyable, hardest, and enjoyable at the same time was probably the 80, I think it was like 85 Park Avenue that night I ran at Gaston, something around that. That was fun.
So I had a 96 Buick Regal once I took to Tennessee, and I ended up winning the bone stock class, and then came out right after and won the mod class with it. And what the mod class last, like 2 minutes? I shoved one guy over the wall, and like it was just a good night.
I think nobody will be surprised to hear this from me, but the car I usually like and have the most fun running is going to be the Tauruses, just because for some reason we keep finding them. But I enjoy them a lot and try to still make them shine in the Derby world. But as of the most fun to date I've ever had running a car would be our newest video series from last year when I ran the Dodge Avenger, because that thing was just stupid fun and surprising to me, and we really tried to just kill the car and couldn't. So I'm hoping to try to repeat that with something else.
It's not the one that stays on all four wheels. It's just. I'm probably going to go with it. For compacts, I'm going to say the Camry wagon, because that was the first filled compact license I was able to push myself on. Turned out pretty good. I did better than that, Chuck. I also got pulled over that night, so we don't talk about all that. For big cars, probably a Crown Vic. I'm not a huge fan of the old iron rims. We don't got old iron money. Well, rare. Well, I did well, you know. But, I do like sailboats too. Those things are pretty good.
All right, other questions? Again, talk to the guys behind the cameras.
How do you guys deal with the haters? There's a lot of haters.
Well, from a social media influencer perspective, haters aren't a bad thing in a way. They also follow you most of the time. They watch your step probably closer than your friends. So they actually bring you the views, and I just genuinely appreciate their support as much as I do someone that isn't a hater.
I actually 100% agree. I have a lot of haters from down south, and I constantly tell myself, thanks for the views, thanks for the support, because at the end of the day, you're giving me a few more pennies in my pocket.
Alex said I'm not allowed to say those words. But no, whenever I see someone hating on something, I try to do it again and twice as big.
I think the best thing to remind ourselves is no matter what, if you place in the top 3, you will always either be a bagger or the best driver, depending who you talk to, no matter how you drove that day.
I like to make fun of them. Because what I think is the funniest part about it all is I'm making a video on the internet, and you are so mad about what I posted, comment on it. Like, we're thinking about that. It's hard to comment. It takes a lot of steps to comment. You gotta type it out, and you gotta think about it, and you can set it. That is hilarious. I love it.
I think when at the end of the day, you pick out the good and let go of the bad, because sometimes constructive criticism is actually an okay thing. You know, sometimes they give some tips or, say, hey, we didn't like that. Could you do more? Could you do more of this? I never would know it if they didn't bother to take the time to comment on my stuff. But similar to these guys, sometimes it's like, thanks for the view, and that's okay that you didn't like my content. There's plenty of other guys that are also producing stuff that you can take and enjoy.
So with TikTok, it's funny because if someone leaves a bad comment, you can reply to that comment with a video, and then just let all the people that like you destroy that guy.
Yeah, so I actually had a recent experience in New York where I had like 100 transactions at the swap meet. And one kid was like, oh, Sickle screwed me over. He forgot my wheels. And like 50 people were like instantly like, are you serious? Like he did all this for us. And like sometimes mistakes just happen. So that happens in social media too. I mean, we might put out something that isn't exactly right or a little bit wrong, and we might get ridiculed for it, but there's going to be people to support it as well.
He'd ever get his wheels.
I offered to ship them on my dime and he still didn't buy them, so he must really hate.
I think at the end of the day, there's always going to be haters of what we do. And we just got to take that with a grain of salt and move on and be like, hey, there's also 10,000 other people that love what we do, and we're going to do it for them. And if we get haters, that's okay. We'll just keep on doing what we love to do with the millions of fans that we have that watch our stuff.
I picked up a 73 Charger a couple months ago just to make people mad when I crash it.
Do you even know where you're gonna run that yet?
I'm hoping New York brings back the muscle car class next year.
Perfect car.
I'll drive to Pennsylvania and we can just do it at your place.
And Melanie does have the most comfortable bed in her spare bedroom. It's the greatest thing ever.
As long as me or Alex is there to film this occasion, I think we can make this happen. We can have a Sickles backyard derby.
No, so I believe Decker, there was a San Felipe, they were doing a muscle car heat, and when they canceled, I was like, dang, and I just finally got this car. I believe, and I'm hoping that after a couple of years, he said that it was starting to get a little bit low in car count, but if you let it go for a couple of years and bring it back, it will rejuvenate it. So I'm saving my car, so better wait on me, Clutch. It'll be like Titanic when we get there.
It came on VCR tapes. You had to watch both videos.
Freebie, it's okay. I'm the second youngest up here. It's all right.
Both report on them once.
All right, other questions? Yeah. The question is, what did you feel was the most important thing to you in your following?
Devin actually has a pretty good following as well. He's definitely heavily involved in social media. But like I said, I think the chasing points and running in different areas, I gained 200-300 friends here, 200-300 friends here. Like I can go to any town that I ran, and I know people now, and that's what helped me. But each of you might have your own individual stories, of course.
I think for me it was getting shouted out by probably the two biggest derby people on the internet in videos that really helped spike me, and also handing out business cards at derbies, getting your brand out there, getting my brand out there is what kind of helped me going to, I've been in 13 different states to film a derby, so that also helps a little bit. So venturing out definitely helped me a lot, but also getting shouted out by the two biggest people up here was huge, and it probably gave me 2,000 subscribers in under 6 months.
So I think it was like 2015. I was running a mini car at Redneck Rumble, and I messaged the promoter and I said, "How's the class looking?" He goes, "I think we're gonna have to scrap the class. We don't have enough cars signed up." I said, "Let me fix that." So I got on Facebook, I made a video saying I was the greatest driver in the world. Nobody needed to show up, that I was getting that check. And then we had like 20 cars show up, and people started following me because they just wanted to see me get jumped that night. I ended up breaking my nose on the steering wheel after I full tracked a car and he caught on fire. So.
I think the best thing you can do is try to be genuine with people. Be genuine with your responses, be genuine with your fans. I try to respond to everybody that comments. Whether it's going to be today or next week, I will try to always get back to them and answer them. And at any given moment in my inbox of ever-growing messages, I try to keep following up on. I think right now, and all summer long, I'm probably helping new people build their cars. At least right now I got 5 people I'm helping build that are first timers, and they're just sending me pictures, they're showing me questions, and behind the scenes, outside of my YouTube, through Facebook, we help to bring new people in all the time. And by me reaching out to those people, we're slowly bringing in new people to sport, and they become our veteran drivers. And by you helping others is a really good way to help grow it.
For me, there's two. Number one, be yourself, because everybody can see through a picture something. The second one is be consistent. Because for a while, I would post like 3 times a day, and the numbers I did at that time were great. Then I started to slow back a little bit, and that's when I started to go down to followers a day. So be consistent and be yourself.
That was honestly going to be my answer. It was just going to be consistency. And it can be one of the hardest things you have to do because life happens. But that's where you want to run this show. You got to build a car. That shop time isn't free. You got to exchange things for it. And sometimes for us, it's just to be able to produce the content. So consistency is honestly, I think, the name. All right. What other questions we have? Anybody else?
What state do you live in, Mr. Enunciator? I feel like I'm sitting next to Jeff Gordon. Justin Bieber.
I am pretty cute, so thank you.
I don't necessarily have a question, I have more of a statement. I see a lot of younger faces here. Don't be afraid to post stuff. Our world's sheltered enough, that, especially in the Derby world, it's very secretive. And you don't go tell everyone secrets, but have fun with it. Don't be afraid to be yourself, and don't be afraid to try.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, there has been a few shows from the past few years that the show has just been god awful. Like, it's been to where I don't think fans are going to watch it, but I do it because so many people have came up to me and said, hey, when are we going to see these videos? I'm like, people are going to want to see this Derby? But at the end of the day, you can't be afraid to venture out. We all have a cell phone. We can all video derbies now. And we can post and share ideas with others of how we can increase our knowledge of what we can and can't do on social media and how we can really drive this social media thing through the roof as Derby people.
I got one for Clutch. Has Mountain Dew sponsored you yet?
They have not. I'm going to keep sending them the request until I get a cease and desist.
Everybody on the internet, help this guy out.
I literally, me and Clutch have had this conversation 3 or 4 times last year on the road back from Derby's. I would send him Mountain Dew Kickstart as I'm driving down the road trying to get home. And I try and reach out to Mountain Dew and trying to have a sponsor of this, and no.
So I've messaged them on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. I finally mailed them a letter, and they replied and said, we can't do that right now, so I'm going to wait a couple months and mail another.
Yeah, there's a chance.
So,
What you're saying is there's a chance.
yeah, they sponsor race cars and trucks and dirt bikes and skateboarders. I'm cooler than most of those guys.
Now, my question is, how is it the fact that I have a revved up garage cast shirt and the owner doesn't? Oh, Sickles is the owner, by the way, if you didn't know.
It's your good there.
I own the revved up garage cast. We'll change the name, revved up ice cast. It's going to be huge.
Wouldn't that just be like melted water?
Maybe when we have guests like you on there. You know, we
Any other questions out there? Yeah.
I got this for the game. I don't keep the brand free to
If you're freebie, you just load the rails.
no comment.
Just depends on your rules. Just definitely want to always try and figure out the advantages of your rule set.
It'd be a hard car builder. It's not that hard.
Also known as plate.
The 2x2 with a hammer.
Indeed, it was.
Well, you have to shave it down a little bit to get it to go all the way back, you told me.
Understandable. Tight fit.
I used to know the full length of every rail from the front of the core support to the firewall.
And I get called the cheater here. Hold on.
You gotta stop at the firewall, not go to your cage.
There's ways around it.
Not if you don't, not if you get away with it. Is that about it, Alex?
Yeah, I'm good. Last minute questions? All right, thanks guys. Appreciate you taking your time.
Crew from the Expo guys, wanted to say, pleasure having you guys. Thank you for coming up here and doing the breakout session. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It's always interesting and a path forward that these guys are leading charge on. And, back from all of us, Casey, Jeffy, and thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank all you guys for sitting here and listening to us.
Yeah. Yes. Thanks for all the views and keep watching. All right. Thank you.